It's Friday. Mr. H hanging out here with you. Got some history, some dinosaurs, and some football for you today, man. It's been a great week. The weather's cooling off. We had Labor Day last week. Most of us were still working, but hey, it was still a good day because I'm here with you. So how you guys doing today, man? I am doing fantastic. And I have a friend of mine who is of French descent. We were talking about, France's rather interesting history. And don't get me wrong, I love the French, but man, those guys are insane. It's a parliamentary democracy, right? How long has our democracy been around? 1787, right? Britain's had some form of parliamentary quasi-democracy there since Robert Walpole, the first prime minister, 1721, and then of course got the whole English Civil War and all that stuff back in the 1600s. Do you know France has had 5 different republics? Yeah, 5. Why do they keep dropping off with republics here? I don't know. I guess when you eat, bread and wine on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, all kinds of things can happen the rest of the day. The first French Republic, everybody knows about that one, right? The French Revolution. They went insane. They overthrew the monarchy. They established democracy, started chopping heads off, including the king, and then the guy who started it, Robespierre, got his head chopped off. In the middle of Napoleonic Wars, and what started off as a monarchy turned to republic, ended up back in a monarchy again. Of course, Napoleon called himself emperor, but it's still a monarchy. There he is, crowning himself. Yep, Pope's not going to do anything. He's just there to watch, because Napoleon's crowning himself. You can see the Pope here. I guess he just got a free trip, so he was fine with it. Is that Jesus? I don't know. Guess he showed up too. And this guy, he's going to steal his crown, take it to a pawn shop. That's what he's looking at. And this dude here, he knows what's coming. He's like, oh, this is going to get nuts. Of course, it's going to get nuts. It's France. So after Napoleon loses, they try to put a couple more monarchies back in place. They got these mini revolutions in 1830 and 1848. So they decide they're just going to forget this whole idea of a monarchy. And, hey, let's do the republic thing again. So take 2. How long does it last? Yeah, look at that, 4 years. How come it only lasts 4 years? Well, here's 2 pictures that tell you everything you need to know. Here we are, people talking forever about nothing in particular. Does that sound familiar? And this guy is Louis Napoleon. Yeah, so the guy who attempted to overthrow France a couple of times, 1830 and 1836. He's 1836, 1840. And he's now he's a deputy, their version of representative, in that same country, in that same government. And look at this. I couldn't tell if this was their parliament or the LA Coliseum. So people talking forever, getting nothing done, potential subversives. Boy, I've seen this someplace. Where have I seen this before? Oh, yeah, Phantom Menace. How'd that turn out? Exactly. Had a republic / democracy turn into an empire. And the same thing is going to happen, except instead of Emperor Palpatine, we go from Deputy Napoleon III to Emperor Napoleon III. Yep, there we are, French Revolution. French Empire, take 2. Yeah, so we tried Republic a couple of times. Let's try an empire again. What's the definition of insanity? Trying the same thing over and over and hoping for different results. Yeah, it's not going to work out so great. The French Empire. Granted, they conquered Vietnam, brought a lot of misery, tried to conquer Mexico. The whole thing just isn't going to work because one day they get into a fight with their neighbor Germany, and how's it always turn out when France fights with Germany? Yeah, end of the empire. So the Third Republic is going to end the same way it starts. In 1870, Napoleon is here surrendering to Kaiser. And I don't know, for a guy who's surrendering, it looks like he's really boring the Prussians here with a slideshow of his trip to Dayton or something, right? So anyway, the empire ends with a loss to Prussia / Germany. So we got the Third Republic. The Third Republic is going to end with Germans marching under the Arc de Triomphe. So, all right, we're down 3. Let's try a Fourth Republic. It comes and it goes. How long's that there? Yeah, 12 years. All right. How did that one end? In 1946, they put Charles de Gaulle there kind of as a quasi-dictator until the Second World War was over. Then it was over, and they established the Fourth Republic. Then in 1958, everything's going to crap over in Algeria. And remember something, they just lost in Vietnam in 1954. They had that screwball adventure over in Suez in 56. Algeria's about to blow up. And the French government's not sure what to do. They just let Algeria go, or they're going to fight for it. Well, the French army decides they want to fight for Algeria, so basically they revolt. Right? They fly into Corsica, and they say they're ready to fly into Paris unless you bring back Charles de Gaulle, who's been retired. So they bring back OG de Gaulle here as the prime minister, and they shut down the Fourth Republic. So here we go with Republic number 5. Been around since 1958. And I'm going to be honest with you, it looks like the Fifth Republic is overdue for some readjustments. Look what they got running the show there. So apparently they have some kind of shelf life on these republics, and the Fifth Republic is, well, how do I put this politely, starting to smell a little bit. All right, so we'll see what happens. They had trouble forming a government. They had their election. Nobody had a majority, and they had to make some deals and shuffle around. It took over 2 months. Usually get done in a month. So they have Barnier, I think, as their prime minister. Macron is still the president. And you take one look at Macron, and yeah, that's the guy you give the dull scissors to, you know. Now, Mrs. H and I did a little fossil hunting over the break over there, and yeah, and usually I do really well in the creeks and fossil beds that are inland. We go to the beach, and usually I don't find too much over there. Well, this time we actually got successful here. Look at this. We found some really good teeth over here. If they're black, they're really old. So the top two over here, these are sand shark teeth. And since they're black, they're easily 10,000 years old, probably older. Because, sand shark's been around since 40 million years or so. This one over here, this is a tiger shark. All right, this one doesn't look quite as old. If I flip it the other way, see it's still brown. So this one probably is not quite as old, but it's got to be somewhere in that 10,000 year mark again. This is a dull, worn down shark tooth. Not really sure where it came from, but it's definitely a tooth. All right, that's why I ended up there. Shark tooth wore down, just spat it out. This is a shell that looks like a tooth. Yeah, I thought it was. I saw quite a few like that. Lots of false positives. It actually helped me, I think, find the other ones because now I knew what to look for and what not to look for on the beach. This is a bone fragment from something. I know it's a bone fragment because when you look at it, you see a little Rice Krispie pock marks in it. Yeah, it tells you it's a bone and probably a mammal. So from what I don't know, and hopefully it's not human. Now this is what I had to do some looking around for this. This was a small one, and Mrs. H was surprised I spotted this one in the surf. I got some eagle eyes despite the glasses here, and I'm not really sure. It's definitely a tooth, no doubt about it, but I think it's a smooth hound shark tooth. What's a smooth hound? It's a kind of shark that's kind of flat and lives in shallow areas, usually in estuaries. So, oh, there's one right there. It's black, so it's really old. And this is a tip of a shark tooth. I know because I know what shark teeth feel like. I can just feel it and tell it's, whether it's a tooth or a shell. And that's a tip of a tooth, which, it's not that impressive, but until you think about it. So how to end up with a tip of a tooth? Obviously, it was biting into something. It's what they call a feeding event. So how old this thing is, I don't really know. But I didn't see any Permanente wrappers around or Skyline, so definitely sometime before 1949. So I'll just show you a sand shark and tiger shark. You see the teeth. See this thing right there? See how these teeth are kind of strange looking, and see you see the saucer shape there, a little bit closer. See, now sand shark with all these crazy looking teeth that come out of weird angles. Why? I don't know. I guess somebody needs to see a dentist or something. But they've been doing it for about 40 million years. Must be working out. Closer view there of the tiger shark. See the teeth? Yeah, definitely tiger shark tooth. And somebody gave it some food there. It looks pretty good, actually. Alrighty, so opening day is finally here. And the Steelers have the Falcons. And there's one thing about the Steelers and Falcons. They tend to have really interesting games, man. Every game they have had this century, -1, has been very interesting and come all the way down to the wire. In 1999, Monday night game, last time they had one of those at Three Rivers, came down 13-9. The very last play, Falcons had the ball on the Steelers' 4-yard line, and we sacked Chris Chandler at the end to preserve the victory. That was a close one. Fans got their money's worth. Got this crazy one in 2002. I remember watching this one as well. Went into overtime, 34-34, last play of the game. Tommy Maddox heaves it up there. Plaxico Burress catches it on the 1-yard line. Yeah, it's the last play of overtime, nothing on the clock. One more yard, we could have had a win. 34-34 tie. Everybody's standing around looking at each other. How am I supposed to feel about a tie? Didn't win, didn't lose. In fact, going into this game, the Steelers and Falcons were the two teams that gone the longest without a tie. Yeah, Steelers is 1974 and the Falcons is 1969. So, it's been a long time. Of course, they were probably confused because last time they had a tie, a lot of these players weren't even born yet. 2006, this was a great game all the way until the end. This one's down in Atlanta. Falcons beat the Steelers 41-38. Like I said, great game till the end. Big Ben got knocked out. If he had been there a little bit longer, I think we would have pulled us out because the defenses were just sort of there, Both offenses were just tearing through the defenses left and right. One of those games where the team with the ball last wins, and unfortunately Atlanta got the ball first. Got the ball at the end. And this, I think, was the best one ever, man. In 2010, the Steelers beat the Falcons 15-9 in overtime. I was there. I saw it. It was awesome. It's one of those games Mr. H loves. Low scoring. Got to earn those points. Steelers went overtime. Mendenhall running 50 yards for the winning touchdown. First time Steelers got the ball in overtime. Fun. Got our money's worth for this game. Really good one. 2014, back in Atlanta. Look at this. This guy named Southward. I don't know. Could he walk after this? I don't know, man. He got a good view of the turf, and I think his spine snapped. This is one of those games that kind of went back and forth, too. Not a wild one like 2006, but still a pretty good game. Remember watching that one thinking, man, I'm glad the Falcons didn't get the ball at the end. All right, 2018, not such a close game. Steelers completely destroyed the Falcons 41-17. But, hey, the Steelers won, so no complaints. And here we are last time they met back in Atlanta again, 2022. Steelers win it 19-16. The hero of this game was Minkah Fitzpatrick because the Falcons were driving. He picked the ball off, and he did the smart thing, ran out of bounds, so he just sat on the ball and ran out the clock with like 30 seconds left. But you got to admit, this is a really cool picture over here, man, And here are the Falcons with these throwback uniforms. What is with the throwback uniforms, man? All right, I mean, be proud of the era you're in. Make your era the one they want to emulate. And by the way, when's Falcons ever had a glorious history? All right? I'll wait. I mean, went to the Super Bowl in 1998, So I don't know why they want to put throwback uniforms on. When you win something, then you can wear uniforms from that era. Till then, you haven't done anything. Notice the Steeler uniforms look basically the same. Yeah, they fooled around the numbers a little bit and got the patch up there. But other than that, hey, same uniforms, much more glorious history. Just throwing it out there, huh? So we've got the Falcons right there in Atlanta, opening day after tomorrow. This should be an interesting one. Like I said, Steelers and Falcons always have interesting games. Hopefully it's not that interesting and the Steelers crush them 35-0 in the first period. So one way to find out. Until then, don't forget to like and subscribe. Point out my many, many errors down there in the comments. And hey, until next time, have yourself a fantastic day. Das Vidania.